I'm here in Pembroke, Ontario with Great Northern Wrestling. And I hope I go do a shoot interview, and I hope all you people like it, because I go tell you a little story of my life. And I hope you enjoyed it, because I enjoyed it so far myself. Thank you. God bless. Bye.
So a lot of people, I'll just start right away. A lot of people think you're actually from Russia, but I've read that you're actually from Croatia.
Croatia, yeah. My mother was Russian. My father is Croatian. My grandmother was Italian.
Okay.
And I speak all three languages. And I was growing up in Croatia. I was, at the time, Croatia was part of Yugoslavia. I was, in my younger age, I started as a weightlifter, and I was a European weightlifting champion for juniors. And then my grandfather was a world wrestling champion. He was a bodyguard for King Franz Joseph, Austro-Hungarian monarchy, and he was killed by first communists at the time in Europe. And we have his picture on a wall in the house, but never could talk about him because of politics, right? And then I always wanted to be a wrestler. At the time, that's why I started in Europe, in Vienna, Austria.
For amateur wrestling?
Yeah, for no professional.
Oh, professional.
Yeah, wrestled by Greco-Roman back in Croatia, and was weightlifting champion at the time, European weightlifting champion. And
so did they have like the entertainment style pro wrestling in Croatia at that time?
No, not that time.
Olympic style.
No, just Olympics, amateur wrestling here. And before it used to be professional. My grandfather was a professional, yeah. Then we go from villages to village, challenge the strongest people in the whole village, to wrestle them,
Right.
That was the beginning of the wrestling, and then when I was in Austria, I wrestled there, started professional wrestling, blemishless. He was an Austrian champion, nice man. He was probably up his 80s, and people loved him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you ended up coming to Canada and training with Stuart. How did you end up in Canada, of all places?
Well, when I escaped from from Europe, I always liked Canada because there were lots of European peoples there. It was a big country, it was a clean country, and they told me the Canadian embassy, it was very easy to find in Canada at the time. They needed people, needed to find a job. So I was going, I couldn't speak English. So they told me the best place for me was Calgary. So I ended up in Calgary. I was watching professional wrestling on television. I saw Stu Hart. I said, oh, that's my call there. So I called Stu Hart to go train with him. And he took me under his wing. It was very nice. He loved me first time I saw him. I like him. And I met all his family. Bret Hart was probably 10 years old. And all his sons and daughters. And it was like family. Stu Hart had 12 kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So he didn't stretch you at all?
No, he tried a couple times, but I was very strong. I was just, European weightlifting champion. I was very strong. Stu was up in age, yeah. But he showed me lots of good moves in professional wrestling too, yeah.
Who would have been the stars of Stampede Wrestling around that time?
Yeah, Archie Goldie, the stumper.
Archie
Goldie, the stumper, yeah. He was a champion. I wrestled with him. And then I met Angelo Mosca, very nice guy too. And he helped me a little bit too.
And from there, you went, from what I understand, straight to
No,
New
from there, I met my partner at the time. He was from Canada too.
Okay.
His name was Newton Tatry. He just passed away.
Okay.
He was older than me. And I couldn't speak English, so I didn't have too much experience in American wrestling, style wrestling, so we are going to North Bay for a month. We come to North Bay, was a nice promoter, Larry Kazaboski.
Right.
You
That's
remember
only
him?
2 hours from here, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah. This is part of his old territory.
That's why I told when I saw the dresser of the arena, I said, I think I've been here for Larry Kazaboski here.
Yeah, you probably did, yeah.
And the first time we come here as a Mongols.
Okay.
Mongols, yeah. My partner had always idea to become a Mongol. And I call him Guido. In Russian, they mean grandfather.
Okay.
And his wife speaks Russian, so I couldn't speak English, but through his wife we speak. No, she was a Ukrainian. I speak Ukrainian too. So that's how we communicate. And we come here. And first we come here. They do not draw that much people. Like we have like 50, 60 people in the arena, and we wrestle the Garvin brothers, Ronnie and Terry. And after last week, before we left, we sold out every place. Sainte Marie had a big crowd. It was unbelievable.
What do you think of Ronnie Garvin? Because we're actually interviewing him in a couple of days.
Oh, Ronnie Garvin is a beautiful, good, nice person, good man, good wrestler. He have a good trainer. Yeah.
And I guess the first time you went to WWF, that was as the Mongols as well?
That was the Mongols. It was 1970. That was the first time Madison Square Garden was sold out. It was me and Bruno Sammartino.
Okay, so how did you end up from wrestling in this territory to WWF?
Well, my partner was all the time. He was older than me, probably.
Okay.
So we call him, my uncle sometime, my brother, whatever. And he was in New York before, so
Right.
he had all the contacts. I didn't know nobody. So he saw the
he
time
was helpful.
Vince McMahon Senior, that's Vince's father now. He saw the picture of us, and he was very impressed. I was a big guy. I was weighed with about 320 pounds, good shape, working with the weights. Everything else. I was for that time first big man that worked out with the weights. Was no fat man. It was very impressive, and then we come to New York. It was unbelievable. The McMahon had one the best year he ever had in wrestling business, because we sold out Madison Square Garden for the first time. New Madison Square Garden, all that one sold out before I heard. But the best house they ever had in Madison Square Garden was a half a house. It was Ivan Koloff with Bruno Sammartino.
Right.
The weekend we sold it out. That was the first time sold out.
Very good. What was Vince McMahon Sr. like as a
Oh,
person?
beautiful. And he's a gentleman, complete 100% gentleman, nice man, yeah.
And-
He give you his word, you don't need to sign contract or nothing, his word was a bond. At the time, we have a manager named Tony Angelo.
Tony Angelo, okay.
Tony Angelo. And then he was from Montreal.
Okay.
We was with him, and then he quit for some time. Then we have Lou Albano be our manager.
What was he like? Because I've heard he's an eccentric.
Lou Albano was you can say he's a crazy guy, but good-hearted guy, beautiful person, you know.
Yeah.
Very religious, you believe it or not. And
Is he a lot like his on-screen personality?
oh
off-screen?
my God, he loved to drink, you know.
Yeah.
Because he was a very nervous person.
Yeah.
So go to the match to do, interview. He liked to have a couple drinks, yeah.
You won the WWE International titles in that territory as
Yes.
the Mongols, didn't you?
Yeah.
Why was there two tag team titles at that time? There was international and world titles.
Well, I guess actually we was in 1970 we was only one
Right.
with the tag team champions belt.
Okay.
We have we beat let me see if I remember. Victor Rivera and Batman.
Okay. Victor Rivera is the Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican, yeah, Puerto Rican, yeah.
Okay. And then you left the company and went to be a singles wrestler. What led you to become a singles wrestler?
Well, the Mongols gave me the haircut. It was you couldn't go any place.
Because you had like a tuft of hair.
Yeah, tuft of hair in the back. You know, it was very hard. You know, especially I got older. I got married, had family. I couldn't go and rest with my family. You know, take them to the restaurant, go to the store. So I used to have a wig on. And people don't recognize me. Yeah.
Was it Bill Eadie that took your spot at the
Yeah,
Mongols?
Bill Eadie took my spot. Yes.
And then where did you go as a singles star after
In a
that?
single star, first time I go to Texas.
Okay.
I wrestled Fritz Von Erich. Go for him. It was a good place. Me and Fritz was working the match in Dallas, his arena, and it was unbelievable crowd because they never saw, you know. I guess when I was young, it was very, very impressive, you know, be 325 pounds with small waist, no belly, no fat, you know.
And that was a hard-hitting style of
Yeah, it was a
wrestling
hard
too,
hitting
wasn't
style,
it?
yeah, it is.
What do you think of the tragedies that happened with Fritz's sons over the years?
When I met them all, there was all small kids.
Yeah.
In 1970, there were small kids. I even trained him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fritz invited me to his house for dinner, and I trained all the kids. Weightlifting, I taught them showing how to lift weights, you know, proper way, you know. And they was growing up, and I was there for probably a year or so.
Okay. So you were probably pretty upset over that whole
Oh yeah,
situation.
yeah.
And you went back to WWF and had a few with Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, I used to go there every couple of years back.
What was your thoughts on Bruno Sammartino? He's such a legendary guy.
Well, Bruno Sammartino is one of the best wrestlers ever lived, in my opinion. he sold out Madison Square Garden, more than any other performer, even singer or hockey or anybody. He sold out about 118 times. Wow. His life continued. He was a champion for 11 years.
And I read that you had something like 6 Madison Square Garden sellouts with you.
Yes, oh yeah. I was the first one every time I worked against Bruno Sammartino, sold it out.
And did you have a few matches against Pedro Morales when he was champion too?
Not in New York.
Not in that territory?
Not in New York, yeah.
And were you surprised after all the years that Bruno had that feud with WWE? He was very bitter towards the company. Were you surprised that he had a total turn of face and is now in the Hall of Fame?
Bruno Sammartino, I will show you something. Oh, yeah. Here's a Bruno Sammartino, 80 years old, on this picture. How does he look to you?
He looks like he...
Can you get on the camera good? 80 years old.
Oh. Body of a 20-year-old.
But he never did drugs.
Yeah.
Never did any drugs, always work out. He keep clean, that's why I respect him. All right.
Do you still remain friends with him?
Oh yes, I still remain friends, yeah. Matter of fact, we was together on last WrestleMania and WrestleMania before that. Yeah. He's now back with the WWF, he come there, behind the scenes stuff. And
so,
Vince McMahon love him because Vince McMahon know that Bruno is one of the greatest wrestlers.
Did you always think that he would eventually make up with them, or were you surprised?
Oh yes, yeah, because you cannot kill, you cannot keep, what we call...
that animosity.
Animosity all your life. Not good for you. It's not good for your health.
And speaking of Bruno Sammartino, he was defeated by Billy Graham, who we've done a lot of interviews with. Yeah. And I was just wondering what your thoughts are on Superstar.
Oh, Billy Graham was at that time. He was a good-looking wrestler. A good-looking wrestler. Was a good guy, but then today he's in bad shape. Put it this way. I make it short and sweet. But
he did have a good string of sellouts as well, I think.
Oh yes, he had a beautiful body on him.
And then he was defeated by Bob Backlund, who you actually ended up having matches with, I believe, as well.
Yeah, Bob Backlund is a good wrestler, good amateur wrestler, good ground for amateur wrestler. Another clean guy that never did any drugs. And I'm still good friend with Bob Backlund. I see him once in a while. And Bob Backlund can still wrestle.
Are you surprised that he eventually turned bad and was so successful as a heel because he was such a clean-cut character in the days when you were wrestling him?
Yeah, he never turned that, bad, but sometimes it's very hard today in the way wrestling run, Yeah. Today is more like entertainment. When I was wrestling, it was a wrestling.
Right.
He will go in the ring. You will train people with your wrestling ability. Today is entertainment. You have talking. Sometimes more talking than wrestling.
Yeah.
But hey, it's the biggest show on earth.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, last WrestleMania in Dallas, draw over 100,000 people.
Wow.
That's a better show than any other sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find Backlund as a champion? Did you think he was a good guy to be a champion for that long of a?
Yeah, he was a good guy. He was a champion for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you ended up doing a masked executioner gimmick with Killer Kowalski and John Studd.
Oh, that was just for one time, for one day. One day somebody was missing. They want to do something. So I put them. They give me a mask. Put the mask on every day. Executioner gimmick here.
What did you think of Kowalski?
Oh, one of the nicest men I've ever met. He's a beautiful person. Yeah, beautiful person. And he speaks Polish. I couldn't speak English at the time when I met him first time in 1970, so he speaks Polish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you ended up going to the AWA as well. How was that run?
It was very good. It was even for Vergania at the time.
Yeah.
Vergania was an American amateur wrestler. He was actually Olympic. He was on Olympic team for the United States. And he ran very strict, business, and I worked for him for a year and a half, I believe. It was very good. It was very interesting.
I hear you were managed by Bobby Heenan.
Bobby Heenan, yes. Bobby Heenan was a good guy. Read today. He's not doing too good. He had throat cancer.
Yeah.
I get chewing tobacco. It don't help you.
What did you think of him as the manager? Among
Oh,
like,
he
the
was great
yeah.
because he was very quick with the answers. He have a clear mind, very quick with the answer. He always can answer anybody.
Who was your favorite manager over the years?
I have to say Fred Blassie.
Freddie Blassie. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get into him. I was
Yeah.
just curious. So you went to the Mid-South territory too. That was a very famous territory and popular territory
yes,
for
yeah.
a while. Bill Watts, a pretty controversial promoter. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on him.
Him. Well, he was a good promoter, all decent guys, and he started. He was a good football player, good wrestler, and he treat a wrestler to be professional athletes. You know what I mean? And he had some good crowd down there. I was in Mid-South, and it was a good territory. Only long trips.
Yeah, and you were partners with Barry Darsow there.
Barry
for a while,
Darsow,
weren't you?
yes. I switched him around and make him Russian. Turncoat they call him.
Yeah,
And it was unbelievable.
and you feuded with Duggan a little bit.
Yeah, with Jim Duggan and Junkyard Dog.
What are your thoughts on Jim Duggan?
Oh, beautiful person, a beautiful person. Today we are good friends. That time, it was feuding, but today we are good friends.
We interviewed him recently, and he told us a story that you beat up Manny Fernandez in that territory. And he actually we told him that we'd be talking to you, and he said,
Yeah.
ask Nikolai that story. So-
Well, Manny Fernandez, it's okay guy. I never knock him. He's okay guy, but he liked to party too much. We have a match in Orlando, Florida. For the time promoter was Graham.
Okay, Mike
Mike Graham.
Eddie Graham.
Yeah,
Mike Graham.
what's Graham? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came drunk in the ring, and he tried to hurt me. He hit me a couple times very hard. I said, what you tried to do? He said, shut up. I'm the boss here. I said, yeah, how about this? Boom, I hit him 2-3 times, he was out. Yeah. But because I used to box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to box, yeah.
Okay, so you used that.
I knocked him out with a stiff left jab.
And that was the end. Was that in the ring or outside?
Yeah,
the ring?
and then after I saw him next day, he came and apologized, But
Okay.
he was drunk, drugged up. He shouldn't have been in a ring by that time. But we're still talking. It's okay.
That's good. And you mentioned you wrestled Junkyard Dog, who was over.
Oh yeah,
like
he was
crazy.
very good down there in Louisiana. He was very good, nice guy, funny guy. I like him. Yeah.
And did you find him okay in the ring? Because some people have said he was difficult to work with. Other people say that he was.
He was
not too
okay
bad.
to me. He respected me. I respect him. Yeah. He was a good athlete.
Did you ever have the crowds there were pretty notorious for attacking the wrestler?
Oh my God, yes, yeah. when I'll tell you the story. The time I was Nikolai Volkoff, the Russian, communist sympathizer, and Bill Watts got the idea if I will play Russian or Sri Lanka before my match, and then we create some really heat between the people, right? And it worked beautiful. At that time, his agent was a Grizzly Smith, that Jake the Snake father.
Yeah.
He wrestled as a Kentuckians,
Right.
partner. He was a big guy, 50 pounds, nice guy too. And so I said, I have to call my mother, tell him to send me the Russian tape. We couldn't find one here with the singing, And she sent me the tapes, and I gave him the tape, and he made a copy. Every place we go, we played Russian anthem. And he said, Nikolai, I'm worried about this 8-cassette tape, they don't last a time long. I like to make extra copy for your tape. So give me your tape, I'll bring it tomorrow in Louisiana. We have a big show. I was wrestling the time for the Southern Belt Magnum PA.
Oh, Magnum PA. Yeah.
Magnum PA, nice guy.
Magnum TA, sorry.
Magnum TA, yeah. And come the rest and said, Nikolai, tonight I go lose money here. I don't go make any money. I said, why? Because I forgot to bring you tape. If I don't bring you tape, the promoter at the time, Bill Watts, go find me a big fine. I said, wait a second, Chris. I have a better idea. Forget about tape. I go sing it. And we come to the ring. Announcer said, ladies and gentlemen, said, Nikolai apologized. you've been able to hear Russian national anthem on the tape because Junkyard Dog stole it. And people were so happy that clever people. And then the right time, and I just said, but however, Nikolai, I want you all to stand up and respect him singing Russian national anthem. And that was the first time and only time in my life I got scared on the ring. There was so much heat and hate. People started stomping a foot on
the floor.
On the floor.
So that was the middle of the Cold War, wasn't it?
In the middle of the Cold War, yeah. That was in a we call it where they play football in
Superdome.
Superdome, yeah. Those we have like 25,000 people, of the biggest house they ever have. And I thought the whole building would come down. And after that, I started thinking Russian. Yeah.
Did you ever have anyone break your car or anything in those days?
Oh yeah. Because we have to. When I come to New York, first is a Mongol, a McMahon senior at the time. He would put main event last match. But we couldn't, because we had so much heat with the people, we couldn't get out of the building.
Right.
So my partner told him, we cannot be last match. You have to put us right in the middle, like fourth match, or I quit. I said, I cannot take a chances. I'm an old man and I want to get hurt, And then they changed it. That's the first time they changed the main event to the fourth match, and today it's still like that.
Yeah, because Hulk Hogan always was fourth or fifth as well.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, you ended up going back to WWE, and that's when you were teamed with the Sheik.
With the Sheik, yes. Well, that time it was it was still Cold War with Iran and Russia, and Freddie Blassie was our manager. It was just perfect time to put us together. And at that time, already come from Louisiana, I was starting singing Russian national anthem. Vince McMahon loved that.
Did you know the Sheik previously at all?
Yeah, I met him in Louisiana. I was down there. Yes.
Okay. That was before he really started, because in later years.
Well, Sheik would come from amateur wrestling. He was an Iranian champion. He was a world champion, good amateur wrestler, Olympic champion, and he was a good wrestler. And from wrestling, amateur, sometimes it's very hard to switch to become professional wrestler.
Right.
But she had a hard time, but he did it. He had lots of willpower to do it, so he did it. Yeah.
And you mentioned Freddie Blassie before. What did you like so much about him? He was just very professional.
Freddie Blassie was very professional. He had lots of wrestling experience. He started wrestling before the war, before the Second War.
He was really popular in Japan and LA, right?
In LA and Japan, yeah. Matter of fact, we met that big movie star. He come
Andy
to the
Kaufman?
Yeah. And I forgot the name, my God. He come to Freddie Blassie and down he said, Mr. Blassie, I always want to kiss your hand. Kneel down, Freddie kissed his hand. And I never liked the movie. After that, I started liking him. I became good friends. He was great, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And you went on to win the WWE tag titles at the first WrestleMania. What was that like, and what are your memories of the first WrestleMania?
Oh my God, that was unbelievable. Yeah. We have a Madison Garden sold out, and we had so much we call heat, intense. When I come outside, I couldn't even hardly sing Russian national anthem. We told all the people to stand up for Russian national anthem, And we beat fair and square.
Yeah.
Barry with a Freddie Blassie cane. I hold in the Barry. She hit him with the hand so hard that cane cave of his head, knock him out. And hit me, almost knocked me out too. And I just fall down on top of the Barry. That was that 1, 2, 3. People was mad.
What did you think of Barry Windham as a wrestler?
He was good because I wrestled his father.
Yeah.
And then Mike Ritondo was a good wrestler. He was a college wrestler, beautiful person,
So Blackjack Mulligan was that his father? Barry
Barry Windham's father, yeah. Black Jack.
What were those matches like against the father?
Well, Blackjack Mulligan was a good wrestler too. He was a professional football player. I always liked any professional wrestler that he was previous athlete.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I believe old school say if you want to be a wrestler, you should at least look like a wrestler.
Right.
Before you start anything, But
yeah, nowadays it's a little bit different.
Yeah, different.
And you only had a 3-month reign as champion, despite that you were over very well as heels. Are you surprised you only had a 3-month title reign?
No, because we suggested ourselves. We said we don't need those belts because they're very hard to carry on a road. The time you travel so much, because our gimmick is our belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when this division of that tag team happened, was that because of the Iron Sheik arrest with Jim Duggan, or?
Yeah, that was a bad part. Yeah, me and Sheik was completely different. He liked to party.
Right.
So I did not.
So you weren't going out with him after the
no.
shows?
No, never. Yeah. I never been in a bar in my life to buy myself a drink, and I'm proud of it.
Were you upset about that whole situation?
Oh yes, it was very, very upsetting because both guys was good guys, Sheik, but when you do drugs, your brain don't work. You burn the brain cells, and they cannot be replaced.
Right.
All right, and you do stuff you would never do when you are sober. You know what I mean?
And I guess the other bad part about that was the breaking of the kayfabe, which was important at the time.
Well, at the time, yeah. That's what became kind of the entertainment.
So after that, you ended up feuding with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So you ended up pretty good out of the tag team ending. But what were those matches like with Hulk Hogan at that time?
Oh, it was good. It was great. It was we had a couple good sellouts. We was the first one to sell out Meadowland Arena, who was a big place.
Was that the Saturday night main event?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was probably one of the first main event. Yeah.
That was a very famous match.
Yes, yeah.
What was that like to be on NBC? Is that when you really started to notice that wrestling was exploding?
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah, that was probably the first year I made the most money in my life, in wrestling.
Yeah, I read in one interview where you said you were making somewhere like $400,000 or $500,000 a year at your peak in the '80s, which was very good money back then.
Yes.
And you went on to actually wrestle Corporal Kirchner after that.
I call him Corporal Klink.
Corporal Klink.
Yeah.
What did you think of those matches? Because he was not known as being the most polished of performers.
Yeah, he didn't have that much experience, but his gimmick as a Corporal Kirchner, and we call representing himself as an American soldier, and it was good. It was good. And make up for all the stuff.
You enjoyed your matches with him.
Yeah.
And you ended up being sold to Slick in an angle by Freddie Blassie. Was that because Blassie was getting older?
Yeah, Blassie was getting older. He didn't like to go on the road anymore, And Freddie Blassie only had one kidney and one eye. He lost his eyes in a ring with me.
Oh, okay.
In Boston, yeah. And
his sight just went.
And I introduced him to his daughter. Okay. Freddie Blassie had a first marriage, awful divorce. The wife turned kissed against him. So when I was in St. Louis, this girl come to me. He said, "Nikolai, is Fred Blassie going to be with you?" I said, "No." I said, "Why you want to know?" And she started crying. She said, "Because he's my father." I said, "When time you last see me?" I said, "I don't remember. I was a little baby when my mother had divorced." I said, "Well, give me your number. I'll make sure he call you." And then next time, I gave him the number. I told him, he called her girl, and I see tears of his eyes. He was interested. I said, "Everybody out." So we get out, and that's the first time he called to his daughter. She was like 35 years.
His last marriage was to a Japanese woman.
Japanese,
right?
Miyako, yeah. Very nice, beautiful lady, yes.
And he died, didn't he have hepatitis complications or something?
No, he died, I guess, from old age. All that, being on the road here with one kidney, and but his wife, prolonged his wife for a long time because she was a beautiful person. She took good care of her.
And you feuded with the Killer Bees and wrestled them at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
What were your memories of being in front of that crowd, which was the biggest?
Well, that was good. She didn't like Brian.
No?
Brian Blair, yeah. But it was okay. Jim Brunzell was a good wrestler. Brian was a good wrestler too, but.
What was his reasoning for not liking Brian?
I don't know. She's on time, maybe his style of life. When I said before that when you party too much with the drugs, alcohol is not good.
And you ended up being switched to a tag team with Boris Zukov in the late 80s, around 1988. Yeah. What did you think of that team?
Boris was a good guy. He was a good guy, he was getting good push by that time. You know the communists fall down in Russia, and I told McMahon, that's it. I cannot be Russia sympathizer anymore. Communism is gone. You know, I always hated. You know, I want to be myself now. I want to be really me myself, and that's it. And it was very good.
And you switched by actually singing the American national anthem.
Yeah.
And are you surprised that they only had, I think your blow-off match was on a Superstars episode. Are you surprised they didn't have your blow-off match with that tag team on a pay-per-view or something when you and Boris?
Well, it was a time, I guess. It was a time, you know. I thought I wanted to be a bad guy anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And before you split up, you did have a very fast match at WrestleMania 6 against the Hart Foundation in Toronto.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on Bret Hart? You said you knew him as a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah, 10-year-old boy.
What do you think of him as a?
Well, he was a good wrestling couple, good wrestling family. He was a nice, clean guy, good cat. Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on that whole Montreal screw job thing? Do you think it was something that needed to be done due to the circumstances, or?
What do you mean?
You know, when that incident happened with Bret in Montreal in later years, I was just wondering your thoughts on that.
What happened? I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. They gave Bret a different finish than what happened. Shawn Michaels had Bret Hart in the sharpshooter, and the referee called for the bell to be rang.
Yeah.
And then Bret lost the title, even though that wasn't the planned finish, and Bret ended up going to WCW and being bitter for you.
Sometimes that thing happened. I was not there, but that happened.
Yeah, that was after your time in the company. You feuded with Sergeant Slaughter when you were a baby face. What was that like working with him?
It was great. Sergeant Slaughter was a good, good wrestler, good athlete. People loved them. We had some good matches.
Was that strange because you were so used to being the foreign heel and Slaughter is used to being the all-American babyface, and then it was the opposite roles?
Yeah, because Sergeant Slaughter turned a heel one time too.
Yeah. And he did well as a heel.
Oh yeah, he did well. Yeah. But when you're a good wrestler, you can go either way.
And you left WWE for a bit in 1990. Was that just because you were kind of burnt out?
No, I left in '97.
Oh, okay. So you were just used less frequently on TV.
Yeah.
Okay. And in 1994, they did an angle with you where you were sitting in the crowd in a suit for months.
Months, yeah.
Yeah, and then you ended up joining the $1 Million Corporation.
Yes.
Who came up with that whole idea?
Oh, WWF. They have writers every time. They show people, what money can do, I guess, some kind of entertainment, what you call it.
What did you think of that gimmick? Was that just like a paycheck for just doing your job, or did you enjoy it?
Yeah, just doing my job, I guess.
Yeah. And during that time, who did you feud with mainly when you were doing that with $1 Million Corporation? Is there any one wrestler that?
No, mostly lots of wrestlers.
Lots of house show matches and stuff. Yeah, and I guess you did your final appearance, I read, was in the Boston Garden under that gimmick. You interfered in a match with Sid and Diesel, and you chased off Ted DiBiase, I guess, from the match.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
So that was your final appearance as part of the angle. Yeah. Did that get a good reaction from the crowd?
Yes. Yeah.
And there was also, I read, I didn't see this, but apparently in 1997 they used you on an episode of Shotgun Saturday Night. Todd Pettengill saw you on the street or something. They did.
Oh yeah, in New York on Broadway. Yeah.
Did they just call you up randomly and say?
No, I was still working for them. I was working, not that much on the television, but I was working on the towns, small towns. They used to run like a small town, stuff like that. Still working, because I retired completely for WWF in I believe '97.
Okay. And what led to your retirement? You just had.
Well, I have enough. I was never home.
You had a good long run.
Yeah, I had a good long run, and I thought, I got a good job for the Baltimore County, work government jobs. I work for them.
Do you still work for them?
Yes, I still work for them. Yeah.
Do you ever plan on retiring, or you just going to work?
A couple more years, I think.
I've heard, I actually read this in an interview you did for this newspaper that I thought was interesting, that you said you wrestle now to keep in shape more than
Oh
anything.
yes, yeah. I'll keep it in shape because today you cannot stay healthy without working out. And today, medicine, in my opinion, is a big business.
Yeah.
The more sick you are, the more money personal company make. I will be 70 years old in October. I don't take no medication.
Wow.
When I was retired in 1970, I saw Ayurvedic doctor. Ayurvedic doctor is a who practice Indian medicine that is 10,000 years old. In my opinion, 10,000 years ago, they know more about human body than they know today. What happened is, my health was, I was 345 pounds. And because I work in office, my blood pressure was going up. So I asked my regular doctor, family doctor, why we can, he gave me 5 pills. And I saw side effects of those 5 pills. I said, man, that's not good. That will kill me for my blood pressure. I don't want those pills. So you have to have it for you to lower your blood pressure down a little bit. And then I said, well, how about we find out why I have blood pressure? He took every test in the book. It all come up okay. I said, if they come okay, why I have it? He said, sometimes you just don't know. Then I was watching television. I saw Indian doctor Deepak Chopra talking about Ayurvedic medicine. Wow. Where they cure everything from cancer to AIDS, just diet, no medication. I said, that's what I like better. So it took me 1 year to find an Ayurvedic doctor from India. And so when the first day I see him, I said, listen, I've been on a vegetarian diet for 2 months, tried to lose weight. I didn't lose a pound, actually gained 4 pounds. He put me on a diet. When I ate chicken and any seafood, first month I lost 60 pounds, blood pressure gone, and that was 20 years ago, and I still diet.
So your diet, what's your diet like now?
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
I eat fish once in a while, and once a year I eat lamb. I like lamb. We was brought up on lamb back home. But I'd like to be healthy. And he told me, and I told him about my hip. I said, my hip bothers me, I might have to replace my hip. He started laughing. I said, why are you laughing? He said, Nikolai, you cleanse your body. You lost 60 pounds. All right? Once you cleanse your body's going to heal up itself.
That's a good point.
My hip is okay now.
Wow. And that's mostly just by becoming a vegetarian and cutting.
Yeah, cut all the, no sodas, plain water.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of matches in Maple Leaf Garden over the years.
Yes, yeah.
We had a lot of fans from Toronto that messaged me and asked if I could ask you about your memories of wrestling in Toronto over the years.
Toronto is a beautiful city because they have lots of European restaurants at the time, and I was not vegetarian. I love to go to Italian restaurant, Greek restaurants, Chinese restaurant, and they have a good food, good, beautiful European people and Canadian, nice people, I almost felt like home.
Oh, that's nice. And Maple Leaf Gardens.
Maple Leaf Garden was great, yeah.
And in 2005, you were inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, yeah.
What was your reaction to getting that call?
It was great. It was great. It was feeling great because I was inducted with Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Hart, Paul Ondorf, Bobby Heenan, what's the name? Jimmy Hart, yeah, and Cowboy.
Bill Watts.
No.
Oh, Bob Orton.
Bob Orton, yeah. It was great. Nice group.
What are your thoughts on Bob Orton's son?
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he's good. He's a good kid,
And Jim Ross introduced you.
Yes,
into the
Jim
Hall of
Ross.
Fame.
Yeah, Jim
Why,
Ross.
why did they choose Jim Ross?
Because Jim Ross was. I know Jim Ross for a long, long time. When I wrestled Mid South, and he suggested that he'd like to introduce me there.
And you were used a few times with Vladimir Kozlov in the WWE.
Yes.
I actually wrestled him a bit, and I got along well with him, but I was surprised that they didn't do more with him, given his athletic ability. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I'm surprised too, yeah.
What did you think of him?
Well, I thought he was a great wrestler, and great wrestler, good athlete, like you say, was strong, big, strong, good athlete, yeah.
And you've also done a backstage vignette with Rusev and Lana.
Oh,
who
yeah,
are part
yeah.
of they're the new Russians now, I
Russian,
guess.
New Russian, yeah.
What do you think of them?
It was good, yeah. She's actually a Lithuanian, and he's Bulgarian. But it was a good guy, yeah.
Are you happy that WWE is still doing a version of the evil Russian in this day and age?
Well, it was okay, you know. You always go here, people, somebody they like, somebody they don't like. You know, that's the mother nature, I guess.
And another wrestler that like is a legitimate wrestler too is Brock Lesnar. What do you think of?
Oh, he's great. He's great. Yeah, he's going back to fighting again.
What do you think that's risky for him going back to MMA, being such a big star in wrestling?
I don't know. That's what he wants to do. You know, before he had to retire, but now he's in good shape again. He's in good shape. He feels good. He like to do it, I guess.
What do you think his chances are in that fight?
I think it was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say he's one of your favorites from today's generation?
Yeah, I like him. I like Cena. I like everybody. You know, I like everybody. You know.
Have you met Cena much?
Oh
over
yeah,
your
many
years?
times. Yeah, many times.
And is he always? I guess he's probably always respectful.
Oh
to
yes,
you and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. And did you ever meet CM Punk, because he's going into MMA now as well?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
But he doesn't really have much of a fighting background, so it might not be the best idea.
Yeah.
But for today's wrestling product in general, what do you think of today's product compared to, you were around in the 80s, which was really.
But you know, like one time, great philosopher said, you never can spit in a river in the same place twice.
Right.
Because moving, that's our word. People move. Universe growing bigger and bigger all the time, and people changing.
Right.
And today, wrestling is for people today. That's why the drawing power is good. The biggest show on earth is wrestling. Always been the biggest sport in the United States, even before with the old school wrestling, because you have so many different territories. We run in 3 shows a night, like football or baseball was only seasonal. Wrestling was all years around. But today, with entertainment, you know, people just love it.
And speaking of entertainment's connection, you were involved in WrestleMania 11 when Lawrence Taylor, who's a football player, had a wrestling match with Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
What did you think of that at the time? Because he was that was the first real big crossover match, and it got a lot of mainstream attention.
But Bam Bam Bigelow was a tough guy. You know, he weighed about 350 pounds. He could move, you know, and Taylor was a good football player. You know, it was good. I enjoyed it.
And you were on the outside for that match
Yes,
with the
yeah,
NFL All-Stars.
Yeah.
Were those guys pretty easy to work with overall?
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
I think Steve McMichael was one of them at the time, and then he ended up going to WCW.
Yeah, so.
And you've worked for Vince McMahon and his father for so long. What's your overall opinion of Vince McMahon Jr. through the years?
I first met Vince Jr. when, in 1970, he became working for his father. He was an announcer.
Okay.
And he was very impressive because he can look the whole sheet for the whole night, one time, and just go in the ring and repeat the whole thing for his mind. He had photographic memory.
Oh, he was a ring announcer?
Yes, he was a ring announcer at the time. He had the photographic memory, his brain was working good, he wanted to do good, and other people told him, you cannot do it. And he asked me one time, he asked a couple other guys, so what you think? Can I switch from wrestling to entertainment? And lots of other guys, I don't go mention their name, they told him no. So he come to me and said, what do you think, Nikolai? I said, I think you can, but it will take you at least 10 years to do it. He said, why 10 years? I said, because you have to create new generation. So he came up right away, next time was a new generation of wrestling. I pick up really good.
Do you think wrestling has a bright future whenever he passes away? Do you think
Oh yes, wrestling's been around for over 2,000 years.
Yeah. What do you think of Triple H now?
Oh, it's great. He's great. He's a Kowalski boy. Killer Kowalski started him in a business. He's one of the best teachers you can find in this profession today.
And did you have much contact with Andre the Giant over the years?
Yes, because when I first time met Andre the Giant, he couldn't speak English. And because his mother was Polish, he speaks a little bit Polish. He speaks French. He was born in France. My mother was Polish, and father was Croatian. So Croatian and Polish is very close, so we speak in Polish. And we was pretty decent friends.
And I guess,
in Japan, I was his partner, tag team partner in wrestling in Japan.
oh, really?
Yeah.
What was he like to be partners with?
Oh, beautiful person, easygoing guy, you know, my God.
Did you ever eat with him?
Oh, yes, yeah. You know, I don't drink. He said, Nikolai, tonight is my birthday. We was in Japan. I said, you have to come with me, celebrate my birthday. If me, you go drink bottle of champagne, the best champagne you ever have. And they bought us champagne. It was like $750 bottle of champagne.
Wow.
I couldn't forget. I said, oh my God. I said myself, I don't think, if I'm a millionaire, I will not buy I will not spend $750 for champagne. But under the giant, no, he don't have a long time to live. So when he lived, he lived. Yeah.
Is there anyone that you were particularly close with in WWE in the 80s when you were, like, is there anyone you would travel with regularly?
Well, I will travel with Iron Sheik because he was tag team champions, you know. Usually tag team champions travel together most of the time, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was before that he really went off the deep end. Do you think some of these interviews that he's done on YouTube and so forth, do you think that they are more for show?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Everything's a show.
He's not really going around like that in public?
No, my God, no. No.
Yeah, so when you were driving with him...
He's a good-hearted guy. I'll give you an example. Sometime after the match, especially in California, we have a short time to catch, they call it shut-eye, a night flight to New York. And we was rushing, and we come to the airport, and people stop for autographs, especially kids. And I would say, sorry, son, I have no time, I'm gonna miss my flight. Very nice and polite. She would say, oh, Nikolai, you stupid son of a bitch. I said, always have to sign for the kids. He would stop, open up his bag, and get a picture outside for the kids. A couple times we missed the plane because of that.
Oh, really? He was that dedicated to...
Yeah, he was that dedicated. He was a good-hearted guy, you know, but...
Did you like his movie that came out recently?
Yeah, I did a couple talking parts, and I believe I have it, yeah. I did not see it yet, to be honest with you, but a couple people told me it's pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you've been married for 35 years, which is...
No, 46 years.
46 years,
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite a record for professional wrestling.
Yes, yeah.
I'm just wondering how you managed to keep a relationship like that, traveling so much. And
Yeah, but I have a good wife, a good wife, and we have two kids, two girls. One is a teacher, another one is a nurse. They all finished school, and they're both married. They're happy.
And you live on a farm, correct?
I live on a farm, yeah.
And I read that you do a lot of yoga. Is that...
Yes, I do a lot of yoga, yeah.
And you've been doing that for many years?
For many years, yeah.
And did you ever know Roddy Piper much?
Yes.
What did you think
Actually,
of him?
he was one of the nicest person you can meet, you know. He was a very polite, with everybody, you know, very good, great guy. But I just saw him like a week before he died. And he looked, you know, kind of okay, but he looked kind of, didn't have no energy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then later the next week I heard he was dead, yeah.
Were you surprised that he
Yeah,
passed
I was
away?
surprised. I was surprised, yeah, because.
And he was on a show called WWE Legends House recently with Jim Duggan and all that.
Yeah.
Did they ever ask you to be on that?
Yeah,
show?
I did a couple of times. I did a show, the last WrestleMania I did a show with Sergeant Slaughter, Jim Duggan.
Okay. So they still call you from time to time?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
You still have a good relationship with them.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to a professional wrestler today that wants to make it to the WWE?
Stay clean, work out, eat good, and don't take any drugs.
And what would you like your legacy to be in professional wrestling?
I try to say that I escaped from communism. I come here in this country and I live American dream. And I'm happy I'm here.
Oh, there's one other question I wanted to ask you. This is off topic, but we've interviewed the Rougeaus about this.
Oh.
I'm just wondering if you were around the day that the Rougeau brothers
Yes.
got into the fight with Dynamite Kid. Were you around for that?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Could you tell us your version?
Well, I like him all four guys. I like Dynamite Kid. He was a good-hearted guy. and his partner.
Davey Boy Smith.
Yeah, Dave Boy Smith, and like the Russo brothers, I love them too. It was a just misunderstanding, I guess. They have a big fight. I think they make there was something that shouldn't happen.
Did you wrestle the Rougeaus?
Oh
when
yeah,
you
many
were,
times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when they were baby faces.
Yeah, many times. Yeah.
What did you, so in general you?
I wrestled their father.
Oh, you wrestled.
Oh yeah, Jacques and John. Yeah.
Wow. In the Montreal territory.
In 1969. Yeah.
So were you wrestling in the Montreal territory much in those days, or?
Yeah, I was going when I just come to. When I escaped from Europe in '68, I come to Calgary. I stayed in Calgary for 2 years, and the rest was too hard because it was different European wrestling than American wrestling, you know, like American or Canadian wrestling, same thing. And then my partner had an idea for the gimmick of Mongols, all right, especially maybe the accent couldn't speak English,
Yeah.
you know, and we did a gimmick. It was unbelievable gimmick. When we come in New York, first time on New York television, and they make it all arena in Philadelphia on Market Street. They draw like 15. You can sell out with 15,000 people, right? When we come for the wrestling match, it was only like 400 people. That was the normal they draw for the TV shows.
Yeah.
When people saw us, we come next time was sold out.
Wow.
That's how I was unbelievable gimmick. But my partner was a very good wrestler. I mean, experienced wrestler, and he know what to do. You know, what to do, what to say. You know, it was unbelievable.
And just back to the British Bulldogs for a minute, you probably worked them a lot when you were heels too. Did you like your matches with them?
Yeah, I like my matches with them.
And they obviously treated you respectfully.
Oh yes, yeah.
So you never
they didn't like Sheik didn't like them.
No.
Yeah, but in the ring we was professional.
Sheik didn't like Billy Robinson either, right? For some reason.
That's a guy Sheik didn't like, yeah.
What about the Ultimate Warrior? Did you ever have much contact with him? I know the Sheik didn't like him.
Ultimate Warrior was in New York, and he wanted to quit. And I told him, I said, listen, if you quit, you're crazy. You have a good body, you look good, you have a good chance in this business. You stick up, get some time. You need more experience. And he did, and became a champion. He always thanked me for that.
Is that when he was first in New York around 86?
First in New York, yeah, we came in, yeah.
And he just didn't like how things were going?
No.
So did he stay friendly to you?
Yes, he stayed for the becoming champion, yeah.
Were you surprised that he passed away?
Yes, yeah.
Especially right after?
Because he was a good guy, and I know, I don't think he did any drugs, you know, I don't know why he passed away like that. But then you never know, you know, steroids, who knows?
Yeah. And do you have any message that you want to tell your fans, your American fans?
Well,
Canadian
fans, God bless you all, and wrestling is one of the best entertainment sports in the world. You know, so you just go to wrestling, relax yourself, and enjoy the matches.
And you also actually have some fans in Russia, of course. And I'm just wondering if you could finish off the interview by
Russian national anthem?
Well, I'll actually get you to start your match with the Russian national anthem tonight. But I'm just wondering if you could say a message in Russian to your fans that speak Russian to end the interview.
Здравствуйте, товарищи. Як се поживаете? Я вас поздравляю. Все наиболее. До видения. Хорошо.